Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how to crochet this mini no-sew bee. This pattern works up super quick, so it's perfect for markets or if you want a quick and easy crochet project. I also have a written pattern for this up on my Etsy if you prefer a PDF. For this crochet project, you will need yellow yarn, black yarn, and white yarn. I'm using a super bulky weight 6 yarn, but you can use whatever yarn size you prefer. You will also need a crochet hook. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook, but you can use whatever hook size works best for the yarn you're using. You'll also want to use scissors, stitch marker, yarn needle, and safety eyes. I'm using 8mm safety eyes, and you will also need a little bit of stuffing. Now let's start crocheting. To start your bee, you're going to grab your yellow yarn, and we're going to be doing 5 single crochets into a magic ring. So I normally use the chain 2 method, so that's what I'll be showing here. So I'm going to do a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then chain 2, and then into that first chain, I'm going to be doing 5 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For round 2, we're going to be doing 5 increase stitches all the way around. So that's just an increase stitch into every stitch in the previous round. And you should have 10 stitches in total at the end of this round. So I'm going to find that first stitch, and then I'm going to do a single crochet. Going to place my stitch marker into that first stitch to help me keep track. I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch because we're doing an increase stitch. And that is our first increase stitch. So we're going to be doing that 4 more times around. So in the next stitch, we're going to do another increase stitch. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and that's our second increase stitch. And we're going to keep going around. So this is our third increase, our fourth increase, and our fifth increase. And you should have 10 stitches in this round. So for round 3, we're going to be doing 10 single crochets around, which is just 1 single crochet into each stitch. And in the last stitch, we're actually going to be starting our color change because we'll be switching to black yarn in the next round, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, put the stitch marker in, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then in the 10th stitch of this round, we're going to be starting the color change. So you're going to insert your hook in just like normal, pull up a loop, and instead of pulling through with this yellow yarn, you're going to grab your black yarn or whatever stripe color you want for your bee and pull through with the black yarn instead. And then usually I will tie a knot with the black yarn tail and the color that we just switched from just to secure it. And now you should have 1 black loop on your hook. So for round 4, we'll be using the black yarn and doing 10 single crochets all around. So we have 1, I'm gonna put the stitch marker on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and in this last stitch, we'll be switching back to yellow. So we're going to do just like how we did in the previous round. You're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop with of the black yarn, and then instead of pulling through with the black yarn, you're going to grab the yellow yarn and pull that one through. And you should end up with 1 yellow loop on your hook. And that is the color change to yellow. For round 5, we will be crocheting 2 bobble stitches in white for the bee's wings. So first we will crochet 4 single crochets in yellow, then we'll be switching to white, doing a bobble stitch and a slip stitch and then a bobble stitch, and switching back to yellow and doing 3 single crochets. So I'll show you that now. So we have 1 single crochet in yellow, 2, 3, and then in this 4th stitch, we are going to be starting the color change to white for the wings. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up the yellow loop, and instead of pulling through with this yellow yarn, you're going to grab your white yarn and pull through with the white. And now you should have one white loop on your hook. So I'm going to secure that end with the yellow by tying a double knot. Then with this white yarn, we'll be doing a bobble stitch in this next stitch, and that is one of the bee's wings. So to do a bobble stitch, I normally do a 5 double crochet bobble stitch. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and just pull through 2 of those white loops. And you should have 2 loops remaining. Then we're going to do that again. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through only 2 of those loops. So you should now have 3 white loops on your hook. We're going to do that again. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through only 2 loops. You should now have 4 loops on your hook. Going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through only 2 of those loops. So you should have 5 loops on your hook, and we're going to do that one more time. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through only 2. You should now have 6 white loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and then pull through all 6 of those. And you should have a stitch that looks like this, and that would be your first bobble stitch completed. So in the next stitch, we will be doing a slip stitch in white. And you can use your finger to push behind your bobble stitch to help it stick out a bit more. And then in the next stitch, we'll be doing another bobble stitch in white for the other half of its wings. So similar to before, we'll be doing a 5 double crochet bobble stitch, and I'll show you that now. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So you should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So you should now have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 4 white loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you should have 5 loops on your hook. And then for the last time, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and you should have 6 white loops on your hook. And we'll be switching back to yellow. So instead of pulling through with your white yarn, you're going to use your yellow yarn. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops, and that would be your second bobble stitch. So you should have 3 stitches left in this round, and you're going to be doing a single crochet into each of those stitches using your yellow yarn. So we have 1, 2, and in this last stitch, we'll be color changing to black. So you're going to insert your hook in, pull up a loop with the yellow, and then instead of pulling through with this yellow yarn, you're going to switch to your black yarn. And you should have 10 stitches in this round. You can grab your scissors and cut off the white yarn since we won't be using that anymore. And you can take the starting and ending tails of the white yarn and tie a knot to secure that. You don't want to tie a knot too tight because you don't want to distort the plushie. You can just hide the tails inside. Again, you can use your fingers to push behind each of the bobble stitches to help them stick out a little bit more if they're inside out. So next we're going to be adding your bee's eyes. So we're going to add the eyes between rounds 2 to 3 around 5 stitches apart. And you want to make sure that you are positioning the eyes so that the wings are on top of your bee. And you want to position the eyes so that the wings are centered to the bee's face. So I'm using 8mm safety eyes, but you can use whatever size works best for how you want your bee to look. So I'm going to count between rounds 2 to 3. So this is round 1, round 2, and round 3. So it's going to go between that 2 and 3. I'm going to place it where I think it should go. Count 5 stitches apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And place it there. I'll usually just double check that it looks even and that the center of the wings are in the center between the eyes, which it is, so that's good. So I'm going to grab my safety eye backings and then secure those in. So now the eyes are secured inside. For round 6, we're going to use the black yarn and do 10 single crochets around. So that's just doing 1 single crochet into each stitch. So we have 1, and then I'm going to place a stitch marker in there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then in this last stitch we're going to be color changing to yellow. So you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop with the black, and then instead of pulling through with this black yarn, you're going to pull through with this yellow yarn. And that will be our last color change for this bee. So for round 7, we're going to be doing 10 single crochets all the way around. And usually I like to crochet over this black yarn so that it's super secure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go ahead and grab your scissors and cut off the black yarn because we don't need that anymore. So now we will be stuffing your bee. So you can grab some stuffing, or if you have any yarn scraps, you can use that to stuff your bee. And I usually like to stuff my plushies a little bit firmer so that they hold their shape. This is a very small plushie though, so you really don't need too much stuffing. And we'll stuff a little bit more before we close up the plushie. So this is what your bee should be looking like after round 7. For the last round, we'll be doing 5 decreases all the way around, and I normally do an invisible decrease. And you should have 5 stitches at the end of this round. So to do an invisible decrease, we're going to just grab the front loops of the 2 next stitches, pull up the loop through 2, and then pull through 2. Then we're going to put our stitch marker in. We're going to repeat that again. So another invisible decrease. And this is our 3rd invisible decrease. This is our 4th invisible decrease. This is our last one, the 5th invisible decrease. So now you can grab a little bit more stuffing to stuff the end of your bee. And we are going to finish off and leave a long yarn tail to close the hole. So I normally finish off by doing a slip stitch into the next stitch. And then we're going to leave a long yarn tail, grab your scissors, and cut off the yarn. And then you're going to just pull through that yarn tail. So now you can see that there's a little bit of a hole. So again, if you do need to add more stuffing, you can still add some. And we're going to close up that hole by grabbing your yarn needle and threading the tail onto the yarn needle. And then we're going to weave this yarn tail through the front loops of the last round, and we're going to pull tightly, and that'll close up the hole. So the front loop is if you look at a stitch, there's like a V shape. It's the half of the V that's closest to you. So it's a little bit hard to see here, but you'll be grabbing just this like 1/2 of the stitch. And we're going to go through the next front loop and the next one. This is our 4th one, and this is our 5th one. And then we're just going to pull, and that'll close up that hole. And then normally I'll just kind of go over across the hole to the other side and exit my yarn needle out of one of the parts of the plushie that has yellow yarn. So pull through like that. And then I normally will just kind of imitate one of the yellow stitches since we have yellow yarn. Go through and then exit it out another part of the plushie where there's yellow. And I'll do that one more time just to make it secure. It doesn't really matter exactly where you exit out, just make sure that you're going over a yellow stitch, not a black stitch. Then you're going to want to grab your scissors, cut off the yarn tail, and then normally I'll just use my scissors or the yarn needle to just push in any of the remaining yarn bits. And this is what your finished bee should look like. So we have the wings on top. This is the face, the two eyes, the side, the back, the other side, and the front. I hope you enjoyed making this bee. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will definitely be making more tutorials in the future. So let me know what I should make a tutorial on next. I also have additional crochet patterns up on my Etsy, and you can follow my Instagram and TikTok for more crochet videos. Thanks for watching!